Kratos' rage is an incredible source of strength and one of his main abilities. According to Cory Barlog, his mortal side as well as his god side existing in the same body with Kratos' hatred for the gods produces this uncontrollable rage from inside of him. However, what if I told you there was another god, someone who may not match him in strength but will be just as powerful? Thank you so much for clicking on this video and hitting the like button. When you hit the like button, it really helps me out. Here are some of the answers from the previous trivia question. Thanks for trying to get it right. I'm trying to make these harder, but not too hard, but I'm glad you all are still getting it correct. This video's trivia question is, after you do the puzzle where you put the seasons in the correct order, Kratos asks Mimir how it's possible that the platforming is moving up. What was Mimir's response? Type your answers now, and if you get it right, you may be featured in the next God of War video. But let's jump right into it. Kratos' rage comes from two halves that were never meant to coexist, with one being his god side and another being his mortal side. This combining of these two sides creates this uncontrollable rage. If you want details on this rage, click the link at the end of this video on Cory Barlog's The Director's explanation. Even though he is a demigod, when he has this rage, nothing can stop him. For example, in the Fallen God comics, Kratos hit the hippo, however, unfazed, the hippo flung Kratos extremely far, and Kratos got so mad that he tore it to shreds. Another example, when Deimos died, Kratos easily killed the god after he was enraged by Deimos' death. And the final example I will give, when Modi was hitting Kratos with electricity, Kratos eventually got angry and the electricity was no longer affecting him. All of this proves that when Kratos is engulfed in rage, nothing can stop him. However, I want to move on to Atreus. Atreus is my favorite character in God of War 2018 besides Kratos, and the reason for this is because he has so much more potential to be a more powerful god, and I love how he changes throughout the story and how much he changes Kratos as well. But I think he can be just as strong as Kratos, maybe not equal to him in strength, but has abilities that far exceed Kratos. It is mortal and god that creates this rage in Kratos. However, with Atreus, it's much more than that. Atreus is half god, half mortal, and half giant. And him having this giant side inside of him is probably why he does a lot of crazy things throughout the game, including affect the weather. If you want details on all of Atreus' abilities and how we found them, click my Atreus breakdown. I'll post a link at the end of this video. You can just go ahead and click that. But he has so much abilities throughout God of War 2018 and throughout the book. Some of these examples is, like I just said, it is confirmed by Cory Barlog that he can affect the weather, but also Atreus has this enormous strength inside of him as well. In the God of War novel, in the part where we're in Helheim, Atreus and Kratos together push themselves off a platform where the boat is stuck on. And in that section, Atreus mentions how he feels an enormous amount of strength deep inside, and as he was pushing, he felt that strength come out. Also, he has the same rage that Kratos has. During that scene with Modi, we temporarily see him go into this rage mode that looks to be just as exact as Kratos' rage mode. Modi, Magni, even Thor are all demigods, half god, half giant. But mortal and god seems to be polar opposites, which grants incredible strength. But gods and giants have been mixing together for a long time, so maybe they don't get this extreme power boost like Kratos and Atreus clearly have. I think it's cool Atreus has this rage inside of him, as he's becoming more like Kratos. Even the little we saw in God of War Ragnarok, Atreus is very angry at the Aesir. In lore and legends, Atreus mentions the gods a few times. He says he can't wait to get into another altercation with the Aesir, also wants to watch them be destroyed. It's really messed up how angry Atreus is. Even in the God of War Ragnarok trailer, we saw Kratos and Atreus having an argument. Atreus wants to pursue Tyr. Kratos says, "What if this starts a war?" And Atreus says, let's go ahead and do it, almost as if he's welcoming war, even as Kratos is trying to warn him that there may be consequences to their actions. Even Atreus started yelling at Kratos, "Stop thinking like a father and more like a general." Atreus having this Spartan rage just like Kratos, Atreus being more powerful because he has not only the mortal side, the god side, but he also has a giant side which gives him access to much more abilities, even having somewhat control over the weather as the weather reacted to him being near death. It's actually insane how powerful Atreus might become. There may be a moment where Atreus is just raging in Ragnarok and it's up to Kratos to stop him, but because he's in this rage mode, how can Kratos stop him, right? Without just straight up hurting him, like almost probably killing him. Because it's going to be really cool to see how the rage mode affects Atreus just as much as it affects Kratos. Will Atreus be able to control his rage? But, you know, Kratos obviously struggled with that for a long time. I'm really curious what they're gonna do here. But that's pretty much all I have to say about this topic. I love diving into their power, giving my opinions and my predictions what might happen. There may come a time in the game where Kratos is trying to stop a raging Atreus who is in this rage mode, can't stop it, destroying everything in this path. The future is looking pretty insane for Atreus now that we know what causes the rage mode that Kratos can't control. But let me know what you all think. The answer to the trivia question is temporal magic. I believe the conversation with Mimir, he said that the Vanir people use temporal magic and it kind of froze time, but them freezing things doesn't stop the sun and the moon from getting close to Skull and Hati or trying to eat it all the time, so they stopped using temporal magic. Here is that conversation. It's a quick clip.
Ed, how is this possible?
I guess temporal magic. Dangerous stuff the high Vanir gods used to play around with. The ability to freeze time. Happened to be a favourite of Njord himself, in fact.
Used to? Why did they stop?
Well, turns out stopping time keeps the sun and moon from streaking across the sky. Unfortunately, it does not stop the wolves that chase them, always looking to sink their teeth in. After that, they decided it was best to leave time alone.
Thank you all for watching. I will see you in the next video. Hopefully you got it right. If you did, you might be featured in the next video. And remember to hit that like button, help the channel grow, and I'll see you in the next video. Deuces.